Hi everyone, so finally here we are with a tutorial that I have been wanting to make for a little while. I will show you how to install NVIDIA Modulus on Google Cloud, not Google Colab, but Google Cloud. That is, we're going to deploy a virtual machine instance, a VMI, on Google Cloud, and not any VMI. Obviously, we're going to be using Google Compute Engine, but in reality, we're going to be deploying directly an NVIDIA optimized VMI. In particular, we're going to be relying on the Google Marketplace. There's this thing called NVIDIA AI Enterprise on Google Marketplace. In fact, I have the link somewhere around here. All of this is a lot of stuff that I compiled here for making this tutorial, and I'm going to be sharing these resources with you. There's documentation and a little more stuff here that is going to be useful throughout the tutorial. We're going to get there. So yeah, that's the idea. We deploy an NVIDIA optimized virtual machine that is capable of running GPUs, a lot of types of GPUs, and also is capable of relying on GPUs and accessing the NVIDIA NGC catalog containers. That's also important. And then we're going to run the simulation, and we're going to realize that it runs faster than on Google Colab. In fact, a little faster. I'm going to tell you how much. And lastly, we're going to figure out how to sort of like take the outputs of the simulation. Obviously, you don't want them to stay in Docker in the VMI. We're going to take them out to Google Cloud storage, a bucket that is permanent and that you can in fact share with others if you want. So that's the workflow. So this is a lot of stuff. I made this tutorial because it was hard for me to actually to really get all the pieces together. Like scientific computing is hard. It's not just hard in the physics sense, it's also hard in the computational sense, but also hard in the DevOps and software engineering sense, in a little. In the sense that it's hard to set up. So let's do it. Okay, so first things first, let's see. We start with the requirements, right? So let's go here. So quotas and limits. So let's see. So this is a project that I have here. So the project has here the Quota Compute Engine API, that's the service, and GPUs all regions, the quota has a value of 1, right? So this is because I had an increased request in which so for example, like you click here, not here, like here, and then you go to edit quotas, and new value, it could be like 10, for example, and you type something like, I want to do research on ML and AI and train models faster with GPUs. Okay? And most of the time they should accept the request. It's important that you type something here that makes sense, because I think sometimes if you don't type anything, you get the request denied. But it's also not too hard, because I typed this, and this Google Cloud account, in fact, is relying on the free credits, and it worked out. So so that's what I did. If it's a new project though, I think like for example here, if it's a new project, I just switched project to a new one. It may be the case that you don't have the Google Compute, like if you type here service, Google Compute Engine, like it's not going to appear because you don't have the Google Compute Engine API enabled. So that may happen to you. So what you have to do is to find Google Compute Engine here, or you type it here, Google Compute Engine, and that should do it. So you type Google Compute Engine, and look at this. This always happens. I hate it. It took me out of Google Cloud. And it switched to my account. This is not the one I'm using. You have to fight it a little. So make sure you go to Google Compute Engine with the right account you want to use. And if you haven't enabled it in a specific project, this happens per project, it's going to ask you to enable it. So let's say I'm going to enable it here. It enabled Google Compute Engine. So now that Google Compute Engine has been created, we can go to YAM and admin and quotas and system limits. And here on quotas and system limits, like now you can find like for example, type service Google Compute Engine. Okay, I don't see it though. That's annoying. Oh, but it works actually. Yeah, that's great. I don't know why it doesn't show up here, but if you do Google Compute Engine, it didn't work. Okay, well, it's good to see me struggle. Maybe it happens to you too. I don't know why it's not working here that way, but if you do name the GPUs all regions, I think it will work. This is great. This wouldn't have worked if the API of Google Compute Engine had not been enabled, because I tested it before actually recording this. Name, it's important you type name, not service. Name, GPUs, all regions, exactly like this. It's going to find you this quota, okay? Yeah, if you don't enable the Google Compute Engine API, it's not going to appear here. So you go here and you did the quota as we did, and I want to do a lot of research on Google, ML and AI, and I need to train models. I want to do research, just research on this project. Okay, so, oops, what am I doing? It's here, 1, and yeah, 1 is the minimum we need, and that works fine for this tutorial. 1 GPU. Okay, so we submit the request. It could take a while, so I'm going to need to switch back to the other project that already has the quota enabled. I think the value is going to stay at 0. Yeah, it stays at 0. A few hours throughout the day, then they reply to your request. And okay, but anyway, it's probably going to take a while. Okay, so I want to switch projects, but I can't switch project. What's going on with the Google Cloud UI? I can see, yeah, here to my project, Causalify Startup, which is a project that I'm not going to use. I probably shouldn't show you the name of the project, because it's private, but this project is empty. It's only for this tutorial. I was going to use it for something else, but not anymore. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, so we have this project, and the quota for Google Compute Engine API, which I already showed you, is 1. Anyway, so I don't need to show you that anymore. So next, we go to the marketplace, NVIDIA AI Marketplace. No, sorry, just marketplace. Where am I typing? Yeah, so marketplace, we go to a marketplace here on Google Cloud. Okay. NVIDIA AI Enterprise. This is the one we're going to be using. Okay. So this is an optimized VMI by NVIDIA. And so we're going to be using this one. If it's the first time you have used it, maybe it says something like enable. I don't remember, but whatever. You click on the blue button, whatever you see. In my case, I have already used it before, so it's launched directly, right? So here we are. For some reason, these AI 100 are not available right now here. I'm sure in the future they will be, because they gotta be like, it's strange. Because in Google Compute Engine you can see them. So it's strange here. I can't see like it's the 9, the A100, and also the H100. Those should be available already. But maybe if you need those, Google Cloud is a little expensive for those, I think. Lambda Labs, I think, has a better price right now for the super duper like incredible latest GPUs, which is the H100. But maybe you're going to be fine with the L4. The L4 is better than the T4, I think. On Google Colab, you can get the T4 for free. The L4, you can't get it on Google Colab for free. And the simulation I ran here with NVIDIA Modulus or on Google Colab with the T4 ran for like 16 minutes, whereas here it was like 10 minutes. So it's better. And perhaps with more GPUs it will be better, but that's another topic for another tutorial. So NVIDIA L4, we're going to use one GPU. I think most of the default settings should be fine. I had problems once with the memory, like the instance complained about not having enough memory. The algorithm of NVIDIA Modulus. I don't know why, so I'm going to type this and hopefully I won't have problems this time. But it didn't happen always, so that was strange. But maybe I suppose that if I add more memory here, it shouldn't complain about memory, I hope. We'll see. If I face a problem, I'll tell you how I fix it later. That's a good thing about video tutorials. Allow TCP ports to enter traffic from the internet? Probably not. I see most people on tutorials don't do it. Okay. So the price should be $1 per hour, which is relatively fine for GPUs. Believe me, it can get worse. But it can get better in other providers. But you know, I think for tutorial purposes, and if you have a budget at your institution, I mean, that's a different topic, but this is the enterprise thing, and I think it's pretty good. Okay. So let me know in the comments if you have ideas about that. So we'll deploy. By the way, sometimes it doesn't work because there are not enough GPUs on Google Cloud. There's a lot of demand. Like, we can't escape the economics of the market. So we're going to hope that Asia Northeast 1A works. Ideally, we will be closer to the US perhaps, because at the moment of pulling the Docker image of NVIDIA Modulus, I think if you're in Europe, and I tried this once in Europe, it's like it takes forever to pull the image of NVIDIA Modulus. So I think it matters. But Asia's not too bad when I've tried it. And by the way, another thing, with the T4, usually you don't find GPUs as of April of 2024. Like if you use T4 on Google Cloud, it usually complains that there are not T4s at the moment. So L4 is a better bet, and sometimes the location you have to change it, but whatever. So we'll try. Okay, so let's try. So here we are deploying the VMI, and you see, yeah, it's compliant. Wow, it's it's complaining that I increased the memory. Okay, so let's delete this. My bad. I don't know why that happened. Let me know in the comments if you have idea. I don't know everything. I'm learning as much as you. Okay. So it says something about an interface. You know, I'm not entirely sure about whether if I increase the primary boot disk size, that's going to help for the problem I faced before. But you know, the way you learn is by trying, I think. So let's double this. That would be 256. Okay. So, and I think it's the same price, kind of. That's interesting. Or maybe I should change here a little bit more memory. But this is RAM, I think. 16 gigabytes of RAM. Oh, it gets more expensive. The GPU, the balance disk. well, who knows? If you can afford it, you can play with this a little, and if you know enough about this, yeah, let us know how we can avoid memory problems when the algorithm is copying stuff. Like, it was an array. That's good. That was huge, and it couldn't copy it to the thing. And it complained, albeit only once, and I tried many times to play different instances, so that was strange. So we're going to try with this configuration. Let's see. Again, I invite you to share your knowledge in the comments. We're all helping each other. Your recommendations and all that. Okay, so we're deploying the instance, hopefully. Oh, right now we're deploying on Europe West 4. I've had good luck on Europe West 4, except that it takes ages to download the NVIDIA Modulus image, whereas if it's in the US or Asia, I think it's much faster. So let's try with Europe anyway. Yeah. Okay. Takes a little while. Okay, perfect. There we go. Now we have the we can connect in a number of different ways. I'm going to choose the browser window, although it's very easy to connect from VS Code. Like, if you want to connect from VS Code, you just copy this command on your terminal, and it's very nice because you can open like a lot of terminals. It's okay to open a lot of terminals. You can connect a lot of different terminals to the VMI, and you can run stuff on the VMI and perhaps stuff on Docker, running on Docker on the VMI, and that can be very useful when you need to get the files out of there. It works fine. It's so we could do it here. You may need to type gcloud, install the gcloud CLI. There is a resource for that here, like how to install the gcloud CLI here. Then gcloud login perhaps, and things like that. But basically you have this command over here, that you can use. I think I'm not going to use it. I think we can get away with the browser window, which I don't like that it opened it here. Maybe I don't want to have it like on a separate tab. I want to have it on a separate window. Okay, so this is the most straightforward way to connect to the virtual machine. We authorize this thing with our Google account. Okay, now we have an NVIDIA GPU cloud thing here. No, well, it's explaining that NVIDIA GPU cloud is an optimized software for environments that requires the latest NVIDIA driver, so sure, yeah, we say yes to that, of course. And this takes a little while too. Scientific computing is hard. It's very slow. The workflows are like a lot of DevOps, setting up stuff, Part of the idea of this channel is to make it easier. Okay, so that's it. It wasn't too long. Could have been worse. So, this chapter of the video is optional. We're going to enable an API key for NVIDIA NGC Enterprise containers. I think it's not necessary for Modulus, but it doesn't hurt to do it in case you want to check out the entire catalog of things that you can install on this stuff, which is very powerful. So let's do that exercise very quickly. It doesn't hurt to do it. The documentation is here, NVIDIA AI Enterprise VMI, accessing the NGC catalog on NGC. Okay. The way you do that is by getting a token first. Okay. So you can check out this documentation. Here. But I already read it, so you can read it yourself later. Check it out. Oh, there's also a very useful video, which I forgot to attach here. Oh no, yeah, this video is very good. I also recommend checking it out. This video is very informative about NVIDIA AI Enterprise on Google Cloud, so I recommend you to watch it. The only thing about this video is that it's a little outdated. They use like something like GCP and GC token. I think they changed that because in the documentation it's this one, and this is the one that works for me. So it's this command, okay? Okay, yeah. So we type this to get the token, and we get this token. And what's the link of the NVIDIA NGC catalog? It's this one, you know? I think they're working with a new thing called build.nvidia.com, but it's kind of empty. And Modulus is not there. It's here. Catalog NGC. Okay, I can type here. Okay, catalog.ngcnvidia.com. So this is my account, and you go to account settings. Oh, it's not here. It's set up, sorry. So generate API key or generate personal key. It works with personal key. And it makes sense that we want to access stuff through the, you know, like through NGC CLI for AI foundation models and endpoints and stuff, and NGC catalog. So you can generate the API key here. I already have one, but let's generate another one. Context tutorial, 12 months, services included. I actually only used NGC catalog, I think. So I should probably take care of this thing here. Oh, it didn't ask me for the token. That's interesting. Hold on a moment. Let me remember. So we're going to copy and paste this here for a moment, just so I don't lose it. Okay, so that's the API key and the token. This is the token. This is going to remain here. I don't need to copy. Yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, already copied it. Docker logging thing. You only need that token apparently for generate API key. Okay. Oh, I don't know why it's not asking me for the token. Maybe because I already did it once. So that's very interesting. But I know that the first time you do it, it's going to ask you for this token to activate the NVIDIA AI Enterprise thing. So sorry about that. I already did it, so it doesn't show up. But if you want to learn a little about it, you can go here. Like I know here, somewhere around here.
In this video,
like they copy the token. So then they go here, use that
section,
so
and click activate.
They go here, like they fill out their details, which I did, an activation request, and you paste the token here, right?
Select one to click on
and then you request activation, and
now you can access
then you have stuff like you have access to the enterprise catalog, which is very powerful, and you want to check out, I think, if you're into scientific computing. So I think I already have that activated. So, oops. Like that's how you would get your API keys and stuff. So all I can show you right now is how to perhaps like generate a personal key, which I already did. So we would run we will do this like docker login nvcr.io, and the username should be this guy. And the password should be our personal IP key. Okay. I pasted it, you can see it apparently, but it should work. So the login succeeded, and this should allow me to say like, okay, so I'm going to go to the enterprise catalog, and there's a lot of stuff here, foundation models, who knows what else, like a lot of stuff. Like there's stuff in healthcare, for example, which I think is cool. I don't know how to use it, but I'm sure you can. You know, the Candle project is focused on facilitating cancer research with deep learning. How cool is that? So a lot of cool stuff here. So yeah, you can check it out, and you're going to be able to access, like, for example, like here you could access the image. You can pull the image like this, like the tags. You can pull the tags, and like you copy the tag and you pull it like any other image, and it should work. You can access the enterprise catalog. That's the whole point. Now, NVIDIA Modulus is also here. Like if you type, if you type NVIDIA Modulus, it's here. So excuse me, dog. Yeah. So NVIDIA Modulus is here, and I'm not entirely sure whether you need the API key for NVIDIA Modulus. Maybe you do, I think. So you let me know. But anyway, it doesn't hurt to activate everything, so you can access everything here on the NGC catalog, which we just did, okay? So what should be the next step before we pull the Docker image? Let's open the NVIDIA Modulus documentation, finally, okay? So the NVIDIA Modulus documentation is here. You probably also want to check out the GitHub, perhaps, but right now I'm going to take what I need from the documentation. So let's install this, the NVIDIA Docker toolkit. That's probably very important. Okay. So sudo apt-get install NVIDIA Docker stuff. Okay. Then this thing appears. You type enter again. And now it's installing the stuff. That's very fast. Okay. I usually don't care about managing Docker as a non-root user. I just use sudo as many times as I need it. So I'm going to skip that. So Docker pull NVIDIA Modulus. And the latest tag as of the time of this tutorial is, as you can see here, 24.04. So we're going to do that. Okay. 24.04. Yeah, that's the next step. And as this permission denied is the VMI. It's not the NGC catalog. I forgot to type sudo. Oops. As I said, I would skip it, but it's fine. Sudo docker pull nvcr.io. So this takes a little while. When I realized when the instance is in Europe, I don't know where NVIDIA has their data centers, so like their CDN with the NVIDIA Modulus image, Docker image, and perhaps all the NGC Enterprise AI Enterprise images, but it takes a little while, so I'll probably stop the video here. First it's going to download, then it's going to go like extracting stuff, and yeah, so I'm going to pause the video and I'll be back with the rest of the tutorial in a moment. Okay, pause. And we're back. Yeah, so it took like 10 minutes, I think, or perhaps less, to sort of like pull everything from the NVIDIA Modulus Docker image from here. Okay, so what's the next step? let me remember. Let's see, where is it? Yeah. So we can run the Docker image. So let's see. Let's run the Docker image like this. All right, with this command. Simple enough. We just have to here, like where it's a stack, obviously we need to put like 24.04 because that's the name we used. And we have this problem. Sudo again, I need to type sudo. And there's going to be another problem, which I was expecting. Docker error response from daemon or daemon. Is it daemon? Yeah, unknown or invalid runtime name, NVIDIA. And this is a common issue, and I have here, like, this is a common error, in fact. So what this guy, like, with a lot of people had this issue, apparently, because, like, if you go here, like, it's a super long issue, and people came up with all sorts of ideas, and some things worked for some people, but there's this comment that, yeah, this worked for some people, but what I did is, I can see the comment. Yeah, this one. This is the comment, and it's linked here anyway. Like, this is the comment by this guy. Or I think this is the comment. Yeah. Anyway, this is what you have to do. Like, you use these commands that I conveniently put here too. You basically restart Docker, and first daemon reload, and then sudo system restart Docker. Okay, we restart Docker. Okay, just like that. Now we try again, and it should work. Okay, now we are there. We are running the NVIDIA Modulus image. Congratulations with Docker. This is quite an achievement, I think. Okay, so the way we test it is with, like, we can run Python inside the image because it comes with Python pre-installed. So we can test, like, all of these. Let's properly do this, right? Okay, yeah. So we can import torch. We can import modulus. We can do this, and yeah, so copy line by line. Oh, unexpected indent. Yeah, make sure you copy without the indents, right? Okay. And output shape. And it works. We have verified the installation of NVIDIA models this way. Now, the proper way to verify an installation is ultimately by running an example, right? So for running an example, we're going to clone the GitHub repository. Just make sure you don't copy this and type it here because we're still running Python, you know? So, no. You have to get out of here, okay? So Control C, set, and we get out of the Python runtime. And now we're back in the workspace of the NVIDIA Docker Modulus Docker image, okay? Now we can run Git, okay? Cloning Modulus. And there we go, that's fast enough. Now we have to go to the folder of the example we're interested in. Actually, yeah, here. But I don't want to run this example because this example is very, like, it takes forever. So I'm going to go to NVIDIA Modulus repo. This is the repo, NVIDIA Modulus. We go to examples, and the one I want is the Navier Stokes Flow. It's a classic example, Navier Stokes, right? So we might as well do it, Computational Fluid Dynamics. So this is the path, right? So it's Navier Stokes RNN, okay? I've done it a couple times. So we can do this one. But instead it's going to be Navier Stokes RNN, okay? So we go to that folder. This is not necessary for this example. I've tested it, so we can skip that. What is important for this example is to install GDown, which is for downloading Google Drive files. Whoever made this example put the data on a Google Drive link, so we need this package in order for the example to run. And finally, this is the exciting stuff. Python Navier Stokes RNN. Is that a recurrent neural network? Yeah. So we run it. There we go. Now it's going to take like 10 minutes, I believe. All right. This is faster than using the T4 on Google Colab, which took like 16 minutes when I tried it. Right now we're using the L4 GPU, one L4 GPU. I assume that the A100 or the H100 would be like much faster. I haven't tried it out. The H100 in particular is very expensive on Google Colab, on Google Cloud, I think. I don't know the price on Google Colab, but on Google Cloud it's a little expensive. I think there are other providers like lambdalabs.com, which I think are providing the H100 at a very affordable rate. You can check that out. Maybe that's for a future tutorial. They, however, don't accept credit cards or debit cards from Guatemala, so I couldn't use them. I was going to do a tutorial with them, but I couldn't. They lost for not supporting the third world, I guess, then the developed world, whatever. They are not, so I couldn't try it, but I was excited about trying it because it seems that the H100 is like 2.49 per GPU per hour. I think when I saw the rate on Google Cloud, it was like $80 per hour. Like, if you go to, for example, while the simulation is running, you can skip this, of course. Yeah, so, by the way, you can go to Google Compute Engine, and the NVIDIA AI Enterprise VMI that we launched is going to be found here, which we're going to actually be doing something with this later when we're trying to give permission for Google Cloud Storage. But that's for later. Right now I just want to show you like the prices of all the GPUs. Like, the T4 is fine, it's like 0.24 hourly if you do it from here. Obviously we did it from the marketplace, NVIDIA optimized VMI. But generally, if you do stuff from here, perhaps you're not using NVIDIA models, who knows? But if you do it from here, then this is kind of like the price apparently. A100. Look at this. It starts going up. It says I don't have enough quota. You know, by the way, like sometimes if you don't have enough quota, you can request it right here, and it will prompt you to request the quota that you need. Hopefully they accept it for you. I think you can contact them. It's a pain in the neck, but you have to do it. So H100 gigabytes. This right now it's like $88 per hour, and if you look for a GPU of this kind on eBay or Amazon is like $40,000 just the machine if you want to buy it for your home. But the data center, if you're leasing it, is like this price. This is just economics. There's a shortage of GPUs right now in the world as of 2024 in April. It would be such a dream to put a factory of GPUs in Guatemala. Maybe one day. I think there's a lot of features for that. I'm going to link a video of a factory of GPUs. That is not NVIDIA, from NVIDIA, but it's a factory of GPUs. And I'm going to put it here when you're watching the video. It's super cool. Yeah, so that's the state of the world. GPUs are expensive. They're the future for a lot of like technology and AI are going to go together for a long time in the 21st century for sure. So yeah, if any of you can run it on an H100, let us know in the comments how long it takes. It would be cool to see if it's 5 minutes or 1 minute the simulation we're running. That would be very cool. Right now I'm expecting that the simulation is going to take like 10 minutes. Okay, so it started at 22:36 and hopefully it's going to end around 22:46. Okay, so in the meantime I'm going to just perhaps pause the video and I'm going to resume it later. Hey, what's up? So my estimate was right. It finished almost around 46. It was in fact 45. So it took like a little less than 10 minutes, in fact. 36 to 45. Yeah, that's not too bad. So it's faster, as you can see. By the way, let me know in the comments if the font is too small. I was wondering if perhaps I should increase it here. Like I was using it smallest, but I think I'm okay using it small. I hope that looks better. I was checking out the video recording and I think it looks okay with a small bot. Yeah. Okay, so all right, so we finished the training. Now what do we do with the files? You'll be surprised, but it's a little hard to get out the files sometimes of these VMIs, and obviously it's useless if they stay there. So what we need to do is 2 steps. We need to take out the files out of the Docker container, the output files, okay? We also need to, so they're going to go to the virtual machine instances file system, right? But then we need to take it out of the virtual machine instance, and we can take it directly into our computer, which is an approach, but we're going to use Google Cloud Storage. Taking advantage that we're using Google Cloud, we might as well. So we're going to use Google Cloud Storage and we're going to send the files there to a storage bucket where they're going to be permanently saved and that you can even share them very easily. So that's what we're going to do. I just need to check out my little tricks. I have a few notes here and to explain you how we go about this. Okay. All right. Okay. So I need to. Where is the command? Docker PSA. Yeah. So yeah, basically we need to use these commands to copy the files in the container and get them onto the VMI, okay? So, okay, one way to go about this is to take a few notes of where we are right now, like this gives us the current working directory, pwd, project working directory. So this is the current working directory, okay? So this is the path in the container that we're going to use, okay? You see, we replace it. Path on the VM. We can use we can use something similar, like instead of workspace, because it's redundant, we can use a similar path in the container, okay? So that's going to be our path in the container, okay? The container ID how do we get the container ID? It's not the tag. Don't confuse the tag. It's not the tag. NVIDIA, like the tag, what was the tag? It was like, let's see, the tag was this. This is not the container ID. It's not going to work that way. We need the container ID. How do we get the container ID? I recommend you do this. We're going to connect to the VMI. I don't want to exit the Docker container. That's annoying. We're going to connect to the VMI. Here, gcloud command from Visual Studio Code. So in Visual Studio Code, you can have like, I mean, from the terminal. It's not Visual Studio Code like that. It's really from the terminal. Sorry. Yeah, it's really from the terminal, but it's very comfortable, like to access the terminal in Visual Studio Code. So we might as well. But we're not really using like the editor at all. So we're going to go here, like again. Here we can get our gcloud command. And assuming you have already installed the Google Cloud CLI, you can look up how to do that. Yeah, gcloud out login, gcloud config set project ID and all that. Then you should be good to go to just like do like this command. And it should work like a charm, you know? It's really usually very simple. Sometimes it asks you to enter a passphrase, quote unquote passphrase, and you can leave that empty. But if you type something like hello world or whatever, make sure you remember that for your VMI instance, by the way, if you connected from here. But it didn't ask me for the passphrase, so that's interesting. I think it depends on a number of factors, like if you've ever done it with your Google Cloud CLI and your terminal, I think. So it may be more account-based and not VMI-based, I think. So it's important to remember the passphrase if you don't leave it empty, okay? So now we're connected here, you know, and we're connected here as well, and that's just great. We're connected in two places. So I'm going to expand this a little bit. So we're connected here and we're connected here. So from here, I can use a command that I think I have here too. Yeah, docker psa. I just have a few notes here that you can see, but I'm using to explain to you. So here, the docker psa, I think the -a flag is helpful just for listing even the ones that are not active. So we probably don't need that, I think, actually. So sudo, don't forget sudo. Right. So sudo docker ps should be enough because we're only dealing with active containers. But here you can see the image has this tag, but that's not what we need right now. So we need the container ID, okay? So we're going to use a container ID here in this command. So we have docker cp, which is copy, container ID, the path on the container, which we got with pwd before, the path on the container where we are right now, or anywhere in the container really, but we want the output of where we, you know, like in theory it should be output, I think, but let's get the whole thing of our example. Okay, so and then a space, there's a space here, you can see it well because of the line break, but there's a space, and then the target path. And we don't have the target path yet, so it's going to complain about that, but that's okay. We're going to take care of that in a moment. So this is basically the command we need, right? If we run it just like this, oh, oops. Yeah, I don't, no. You don't run it from the container. This is the container. Root, the container. Oh, here's the container ID anyway. Yeah, so yeah, and this is where we are in the container right now. No, you run it from outside the container. This is the VMI terminal, right? That we are accessing from here. And oh, again, I think I forgot to sudo, but it's already complaining that modulus examples CFD does not exist. Invalid output path. So that's just Linux stuff. Make directory, and we're going to make this directory. Okay. CFD. I wonder if this is the right command. I think it is. It's just interesting that it's only complaining for CFD and not the Navier Stokes folder. Again, it's here. Why is it not? Well, according to my notes, apparently you only need to do it up to the CFD folder. Maybe the last folder takes care of itself, I think. So it's make directory. The -p flag is just there for making sure that, you know, it prevents errors if any part of the path already exists, and ensures the entire path is created as needed. So that sounds good. We probably should be doing that. So make directory. So we're going to make this directory. Oh, damn, not here. This is the Docker container. Here, make directory. Oh, sudo. Right, sudo make directory, and we have this. So, okay. Now we try to run the command docker copy docker my container ID, the path, to the Navier Stokes example, and then this path that we came up with, that is going to be the VMI path, right, where we copy the files. Oh, let's not forget about sudo. Okay, so it's copying from container. It really seems that the last folder takes care of itself if we're copying stuff, I think. That's interesting. So it's copying everything that is in that folder. So we can check out the GitHub repository of NVIDIA Modulus. So it's going to copy this file, the Python file, the README, and this configuration file as well. But there's going to be another folder called output of the simulation, right? The output of the simulation, and it's going to also copy that one. That's the one that we really care about the most, I think, obviously. There you go, successfully copied this stuff. Okay, we can list everything there, I think. How do I list this? Do I have the cheat code here? Yeah, we can use this command, I think. You're going to be able to access this document. No, not here. We want to do it here. Sudo, don't forget sudo. Yeah, I prefer to see them like this, I think. Yeah. CFD, yeah. Navier Stokes. Yeah, you can see this is the outputs to the folder, right? Outputs to the, And this is all the stuff. The checkpoints, the images of the graphs, which we're going to see later, of our simulation, all of that stuff is here. Great. So we successfully copied the output of the simulation out of the Docker container into the VMI file system. Now we need to get it out of the VMI, and our target is Google Cloud Storage. Okay? So the way we do that is with gsutil. And I need to remember now if I need to log in in the VMI for using gsutil. We'll learn that together. Okay, so path on VM file name, and what we want is Modulus example CFD Navier Stokes, and we want the whole thing. Okay, not just the outputs folder. It's okay to have the whole thing accessible. So not file name. And I even wonder if wait, should there be an R there? You know, I think because it's a folder, there should be an R here. I think. I'm almost very sure that's very important. I don't know why I missed it here, but it's not a file, so there should be an R there. And I didn't tell you how to create a bucket, so we can do that. So let's create a bucket in this project on our bucket. I already have one, but we'll create another one. Modulus tutorial bucket. Continue everything. We just set it as a default. Create. Enforce public access on this bucket? Probably not. So we create a bucket. So this is our bucket. So we have here buckets, and this is the bucket we just created on Google Cloud Storage. Okay? I think there's this command that is very cool. gsutil ls. Okay, and we can see our buckets. So this is the bucket we want to use right now. The bucket name. Okay? Great. You know, I'm not sure if you're going to require gcloud auth logging from here. I hope not. But if you need it, you just do it. And you set up the project and you set up the CLI. I think you don't need it, but you let me know in the comments. Yeah, so you may need it or may not, but okay. So, but there's like here documentation on that. But in this case, it's not on the laptop. gcloud is already here on the VMI, but you may need to log in, I think. I'm not sure. But if you need it, you just do it. gcloud auth logging. Okay. So we're going to copy this location into the bucket. So we copy this command. Okay. And I'm expecting that it shouldn't work because we haven't set up the permissions for writing into a bucket. Yeah, it shouldn't work because it's per instance, per VMI, not per account or per project. It's per instance. So I think it's because it's really complaining because I don't have sudo. Yeah, sudo is important. So access denied. This was harder to solve than I was expecting. And I want to point you to a resource that helped me a lot. And the resource that helped me a lot was this guy's YouTube video. So you should watch this because it's a problem that has been ongoing and hasn't been fixed very well. So this video is important, how to access GCS bucket from GCP VM. There's this other one that was very similar, but I didn't really use, but I'm linking it here because it seems that it helped a lot of people. You know, it continues to help a lot of people apparently. But not this one. This video is very useful. What I learned from this video is that we need to go here to compute engine. Like, for example, like right now we're on cloud storage here, for example. And so we go to compute engine. We need to edit the permissions of our instance. So we go here, we click here, and we go around here, and there's going to be like API and identity management, show details, and storage has read only. So if you want to edit it, you're going to realize that something in a moment. If you want to edit it, oh, we can't. That's because it says you must stop the VM instance to edit this API access scopes. Oops. So let's stop the VM instance. So probably the ideal thing to do is to stop Docker here, like type exit, stuff like that, and you know, to disconnect. I'm a very you only live once kind of person when it comes to this stuff, so we're going to just stop it here, and it's fine. I did it. It's just fine. So we stop it for a moment. Yeah, it says that if there's a process running, like for simulation, obviously that would be terrible, but like right now we're not running anything other than the Docker container. I think it's fine. So we stop it. Yeah, it takes a little while to stop. Let's refresh again. Yeah, you may have to refresh a few things until it actually shows up as stopped. I don't know why the UI takes time to update. Okay, so edit. So edit storage full. Great. There we go. There we go. So now we can start it again, okay? More actions, start, resume, start. So we're starting our VMI again. So let's see how it's going. VM instances, type here. Don't go with arrow. VM instances. So NVIDIA AI Enterprise VMI 1 VM, okay? So it's starting. This instance is being staged and will soon begin running. Let's update the UI. This always happens. It's already running and it doesn't tell me until I refresh. Okay, so the connection failed here apparently because we disconnected. That's fine. We don't need that one anymore. And here, too, it's like broke, but that's okay. We just connect again with the same command we used before. Okay, equal compute SSH, whatever. You can get that command from like here, you know, view cloud command. Okay, so we're back, and we can check that our files still exist. That's probably important. And like, I wonder if I can. Oh, I can see the previous commands that I used. Okay. So sudo less. Yeah, everything is there still. Okay, that's great. So now we're going to here sudo gsutil copy recursively, because it's a directory, it's a folder, the files on this path into this bucket. We try. It worked. That's surprising. Sometimes you need to delete the cache of gsutil. So please, if that happens to you, if you get access denied again, check out this video. because what this guy did is that he, for example, like you can see here, like he got access denied. I assure you this happened after he already had done what we just did. So he was like, okay, let's cd to gsutil, like ls everything from the root folder of the VMI, and you get a gsutil. There's a gsutil folder. This is a folder, cd.gsutil/folder, and you ls everything here, and you're going to see something like GCEC red cache. So you remove. In fact, it happened a lot of times to him, because he's removing everything here, but no, it happened twice to him. So cat yeah, here you can see here, like you see here, gsutil, in gsutil he removed the GCE red cache, which was like read only, you know, cat GCE ECEC red cache, and he read the output of that file, and it was read only still after he had already changed to full permissions. So he removed that, he tried again, and he got again access denied. So it happens twice to him that it wasn't working. So this guy then went to the removed everything in the directory. He just removed everything in the directory of gsutil. And because there was a folder here, it didn't happen to me that there was a folder. But if there's a folder for you in that folder, you can use like remove and -rf star to remove everything in the directory. Then you cd back and you try again, and then it works for him. But for me it didn't work the first time. I don't know why, and I was frustrated. I went for a walk, then came back, and it was working. So maybe it's also a matter of time for the cache to clean a little bit, but you may have to remove stuff in the gsutil folder .gsutil/ in the VMI, perhaps just the GCEC red cache or everything in that folder, and then perhaps go for a walk and come back, and then it finally works. It's annoying. If you have trouble in the comments, let's help each other out. Perhaps some people have the same issue. Again, if you find trouble with this, here are the 2 resources that you can check out for help with that problem. So anyway, so it finished copying everything, quite a number of files from this folder. Well, we copied a lot of folders. Maybe I should have only copied the output folder, but I copied the entire example folder, including the outputs to the new one, the one that we care about. Okay, so great. The tutorial is a success. So I'm going to show you, of course, like that it worked. We can go to cloud storage. Modulus tutorial bucket. And there you go. You can see here, not here because it's confusing, like this is just for folders actually, but here you can see files, and for example we can see like the images. That's very cool. And here's the image. This is the image of the simulation. Now, what this means is for another tutorial. And I think we should do that tutorial. Let me know in the comments if you're interested and you have ideas about how to project. But yeah, we need to study the example to understand what the simulation is telling us and why NVIDIA Modulus is useful. But first, we needed to run the simulation, run the example, and we learn how to do it and how to take the output out of the VMI. Congrats! If you got until this point, it's already a lot. Like, it's not something you know just like without trying a couple times, usually, I think. there's a lot of configurations, a lot of bugs or issues that you face along the way, and I hope this tutorial, this walkthrough, can help you overcome some of those faster, okay? It's very important that you don't forget to delete the VMI. I'm going to delete it here so that it doesn't keep charging me money. Like, I can delete it from here. You probably can also delete it from... The storage bucket is going to be there, you know, that's permanent, by the way. So, and that's very cheap. It's like, I mean, that never costs any money, like just a simple bucket. It's negligible, I think, especially with the free credits. But the compute engine, you leave that up running for days, that can go expensive, like a few $100s. A few hours, like we just did right now, is even relatively cheap. But obviously you want to take care of your money, so you can delete it from here or from here, whatever. So I'll do it from here. Delete everything related to it, okay? We don't need it anymore. We already got the output of our simulation out of it. If you do need to keep accessing your VMI, you should be very careful about leaving it up and running. Instance schedules, these are a little confusing to set up. It's not as intuitive. If you click here, you're going to learn why. But basically you can have rules, like if an instance is idle for more than an hour or 3 hours, shut it down so that it never costs you like a lot of money. You can be confident that you're always going to remember to leave it off, but it has happened to me in the past that you do that usually, but one day you forget, and before you realize it, you get a bill from Google Cloud telling you we shut down your project because there's an embed bill of like $500, and that's super painful and horrible. So be careful with that. But right now it probably just costs like $1, $2, $3, I don't know. We just did the tutorial for like 2 hours or 1 hour. No, it was 1 hour, I think. Yeah, so that's it. Again, for a future tutorial, we may want to focus on understanding the sample, talking about the sample, what it is. It's Navier Stokes with recurrent neural networks. What that even is, who knows? It's like Chinese before we study it, but we're going to study it to make sense of it, okay? And learn what we can do with NVIDIA models. So let me know in the comments what you want to see in the future. Perhaps you want to see it from another cloud provider like AWS, or maybe you want me to focus on this example, who knows, or perhaps a different industry or use case, healthcare, who knows, exciting stuff. Let me know. Lastly, please consider supporting me on patreon.com/secontext. This is a very powerful topic that is hard. Scientific computing and physics, machine learning and NVIDIA models. And I would love to keep making tutorials, and your support will help me a lot. You know, even right now I spent free credits, but I would like to be more ambitious with what I can do. So your support would go a long way. This channel is also my way to be a misfit and rebellious against the world, because I cannot work in the US for NVIDIA. I wish I could. I can't. In Guatemala, there is not like a chance to work for NVIDIA from here. But I'm looking forward to making this channel to apply my knowledge and learn about this topic, and also perhaps do some marketing for myself as well. Perhaps for a company that I want to start, a startup that is about scientific computing and physics, ML, and simulations. And so that's my dream, and your support would help me devote more of my time to this sustainably, in a sustainable manner. And yeah, so thank you, and I would love to do more educational content so that people can learn how to do this, which I think helps the world a lot. We already learned that in the NVIDIA GC catalog there's stuff like there are containers and like libraries for using deep learning to accelerate cancer research. This is good stuff. It's an important impact. So let's help each other out. Let me know what you think, what you would like to see next. Thank you.